Hello, welcome. My name is Kata. Today I will be talking about forgiveness. I'm talking today about forgiveness because I've had quite a few people ask me, what is the process of forgiveness? Like, how do you go about forgiving someone who has hurt you or betrayed you or let you down in some way? And I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with. Like, most people really don't know how to even begin to forgive someone for something terrible that's happened to them. And forgiveness is something that I didn't even understand the concept of for most of my life. Actually, I've only in recent years have come to understand what forgiveness truly means and what it means to embody forgiveness. And that's really what I wanted to share here today is, so what is forgiveness? I mean, forgiveness is ultimately a state of being. It's a state of being in peace or at peace with yourself. It's a state of joy. It's a state of being in a knowing that you're good and that your life is good. So forgiveness is ultimately a choice. It is a choice to no longer stay attached to the past, to no longer stay attached to any pain, any hurt that others have caused you. And it's very difficult to go through this. It's because forgiveness truly is a process. I found personally it wasn't something that I was just like able to accomplish overnight. It was something that I had to work on, and it was basically my inner development, my own personal growth that helped me reach a state of forgiveness towards someone that, or several people that have hurt me in my past. So as you go through your internal world and you start to process the pain that is in there, and by process I mean like actively work at releasing pain, actively work on going within and acknowledging whatever trauma or whatever pain is buried, and really seeking either external help or using meditation. It's whatever you can do, right? So some people need a lot of external help and support to be able to overcome something really traumatic or something difficult that they've gone through. And other people are able to, process things for themselves, and they're able to put in the work themselves and then just do it and overcome. And I mean, the latter is definitely not easier. Oh my God, no, at all. And I know because I've kind of done both. I've had support in my healing journey so far, for sure. I've had a lot of support. However, I feel like some of the major heavy lifting and the major processing, I feel that I've done that on my own. And that was purely by choice and because I wanted to. I wanted to free myself of the baggage. I wanted to free myself of those backpacks full of pain that I was, energetically carrying around with me because I wasn't able to move past some traumas. And how I help people move past trauma now is primarily through a deep understanding of what actually took place. So we do go back in and we talk about, and things come up in session. And as we go through them, I can literally feel the energetic shift in that person's physical body and in their energy bodies from simply having a shift in perception around that situation. Once they see it through new eyes, they're able to energetically like shift that low vibe or that pain vibration out of their body. So it was really cool. I have been experiencing this personally and also through clients as well. I mean, I experience it with clients all the time, but on a personal level, I definitely have felt what it feels like when sorrow moves through your body and leaves, and what it feels like when sadness moves through the body and leaves, or anger or frustration or any of those low vibe energies or feelings that accumulate in our bodies if we don't process, right? So what forgiveness truly means is that you understand that somebody else's shortcomings and somebody else's mistakes are ultimately what you're still carrying, because that is what caused the pain and the trauma in the first place. So if you can understand that person from a different perspective, if you can see that they made mistakes based on where they were at spiritually in their life at that given moment when they hurt you, then you'll understand, and you're going to notice that, like, damn, they were nowhere near where they were supposed to be, spiritually. And I mean, that's okay. They were put on your path for that reason. And that person with that specific frequency and vibration was put on your path for a reason, so that you can learn something very, very valuable. I find a deep understanding of how all of this works, and how trauma works, and how all of life works, and how all of life is truly like a stage, and there's just characters in our lives playing roles. When you understand that and look at life from that perspective, you're going to start to be able to understand the concept of forgiveness, because now it becomes something more like, oh, okay, they just really badly messed up, and they didn't maybe necessarily intend to hurt me. And in some cases, yeah, 100% there was intention to hurt. And in those cases too, and that's something that I experienced multiple times, is people were intentionally wanting to hurt me. But again, I know it's because they were at that level of consciousness. They were just that low on the consciousness ladder that, it's like they were hurting me because they were hurting, because their pain was spilling over and kind of now sort of lashing out at somebody else. And when I really understood that, every person has their own personal process of how they go through, life circumstances, and how they process situations that happen to them, we're so not the same. We all have different timelines in terms of how we process something. And, something that might take me, 2 minutes to forgive might take you 2 years to forgive. Only because I have a different perspective. And it could be the exact same thing happening to both of us, but I might get over it in a matter of minutes, while you might get over it in a matter of months or weeks or years or whatever, right? And that's because of how we perceive. And I find the more that I perceive everything from the spiritual aspect that I've always perceived everything from, the more I realize that all of life is a test, and all of life is meant to challenge us in so many different ways, so that we can grow and we can learn and we can recognize how strong we are, and we can recognize how resilient we are, and we can recognize how beautiful we are, and how loving and caring, and how much we can actually take, and how much we can go through and still come out on top. So that is what life is all about. It's constantly testing us. So when you look at it from that perspective, it just makes it so much easier to forgive others, because now I see all of those people on my life path so far that have challenged me. They really have done me such a huge service, because they've helped me realize where I needed to grow, where I needed to establish boundaries, where I needed to understand my own self-worth. And that's exactly why I was challenged. It's exactly why I was treated poorly by some people, because I needed to learn those lessons. So can I really truly be angry at those people or have resentment? Yeah, initially I did a whole lot, because I didn't understand this. But now that I do, it's like forgiveness just happened. It was like this beautiful process that just over time slowly kind of flowed into my life, and I just started to feel a completely different energy towards those people that have hurt me in the past. And I mean, I really cannot say that it was just like this overnight from one day to the next. It was just like, oh, I get it and I forgive. It wasn't like that. It was a process, but the process was, I think, my own process of awakening, my own process of realizing that all of it was for my highest good. Whether I saw it that way at the time or not, all of it was for my highest good. And the process of forgiveness itself is that realization, when you have that aha moment, and it really sinks into your heart. It's not just something that you think of with your mind, it's something that you understand with your heart. That's what made the difference. Because when I understood these people from my heart, I couldn't feel negative emotions towards them. I can't. I can't. As a matter of fact, I only have gratitude for them. And I can only say thank you for challenging me. Thank you for showing me what I'm worth. And thank you for helping me realize that I always have a choice. And that I can always say no to things. It has helped me find my voice. So forgiveness is a process that you need to allow yourself to go through. And it's a letting go. It's a choice to let go of everything that has hurt you. To let go of pain and not carry it, not bring it into your present moment. That is what forgiveness is. So if you can choose consciously to not bring your pain into the present moment anymore, or if you can just choose consciously to process that pain, and if you can't do it on your own, then to find somebody to help you process that pain, or find multiple ways and multiple tools. There's so many things out there. And then find someone to help you, because it's going to guide you towards that embodiment of forgiveness. And you are going to know when you have experienced it, and you are going to know what it feels like to be free of those burdens and free of that pain, because it's just not in your present moment. It's just not. And it feels great. It feels neutral. It feels like there's nothing in my life at this moment that would make me sad or angry, or no one. Like, there's just no one. I feel compassion for everyone that has ever hurt me, because I know that they were hurting themselves. So think about that when you think of forgiveness, and when you think of someone who has hurt you in a very deep way. And I can assure you that the heart can break in so many different pieces. It really can, because I know mine has shattered more than once. However, it's pretty damn resilient. You can just piece it back together. Look at the circumstances from a whole different perspective and piece your heart back together and say, okay, I see the lesson here. Thank you. And then your healing begins. And life becomes good. And you won't carry any hate or anger or sadness or depression or anything like that within you. You just won't. So think about maybe one person to start. Think about the person that you're most angry at. And think about the entire circumstances and everything that happened. And now just take a moment to think about how unconscious that person had to have been to hurt you so badly. How unaware, how disconnected from God, how disconnected from the light were they in that moment to hurt you that bad? And can you feel just even a little bit of compassion towards that person for being so lost in life and for creating such negative karma for themselves? Because that's what we do with each action when we hurt others. So when I think of that, I kind of think to myself like, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. Like, I feel bad for them. You know what I mean? Because what goes around comes around. Law of karma. So think of one person, like I said, that you know you need to forgive, that has hurt you. And just kind of rework the story in your mind and try to look at them through different eyes. give that a go and see how easy or see how hard it is. See how many times you have to keep sort of replaying that within yourself and keep trying to imagine them and see them from a different way. It's a process. Forgiveness is a process. Be willing to go on the journey. I can assure you, there's only a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. So I'll leave you with that message about forgiveness, and I hope it was helpful, and stay true to you. Stay authentic to you, and don't allow anyone or anything to bring you outside of that. Namaste.